It's all the same, the fear inside their brains. Each and every day, they're sheltered in place. It's another hoax. How the rulers get so bold, disrupting all our lives to increase their control. But the truthers, we're gonna stand up and fight, 'cause we know it, COVID's a lie. We know it, COVID's a lie. Look at all the sheep with their masks in the days, walking right off the cliff. We're gonna go all separate ways. They'll do just what they're told, stay locked down in their place until their science saves the day. A needle from the master Bill Gates. But the truthers, we're gonna stand up and fight, 'cause we know it, COVID's a lie. 'Cause we know it, COVID's a lie. Let's walk the pandemic streets with the camera in our hands. See empty hospitals and things we just can't understand. We look into the facts and the stories we're being told. We ain't taking no shots, so letting our minds be controlled. 'Cause the truthers don't stand up and fight, 'cause we know it, COVID's a lie. We know it, COVID's a lie. Know it, COVID's a lie. No way, COVID's a lie. COVID's a lie, yeah. No way, yeah, COVID's a lie.
Hey, good people. I'm not gonna be talking too loud because I've got a headache. It just doesn't want to go away. And occasionally I get those, but it's usually rare. But all right, I guess I'm gonna start out by telling y'all about my court date today. Let me know if y'all can hear me okay. I'll speak up a little bit if I can, but I'm just a little depressed and, this headache. Good to see all y'all. I really have a good part of me doesn't want to be here right now online, but I try to be an open book with you guys, and it's this way it is. But all right, so I called a couple days ago to see if my continuance had went through, and it didn't go through, so I had to be in court today. I spent a lot of time on the phone yesterday trying to, figure out a way to not have to wear a mask, and so nobody has been allowed to enter the courthouse since they started this crap months now without a mask. Period. And so I get there, and there's one or two people outside the courthouse, and then I get up to the door, and the lady comes out, um, and she says, what's your name? And normally you would be able to walk in, but they're not. They wouldn't even letting you walk in the building. She checked to make sure you're on the list. So first, if you're not on the list, you can't get in there. Period. So, um, of course, I was on the list, and she's like, "Well, why are you here so early?" And I was like 1 o'clock, okay, and I had my court started at 1:30, and I was like, not really that early. And so I said, I'll wait out here, where I can enjoy the clean, fresh air. And so I waited out there till 1:15, and then went in and had to wear the mask, of course. And when I got in the door, there was a guy who was right there and asked me several questions, COVID related. Of course, did I have it? Had I been tested for it? Been around anybody that's been tested? Do I have any symptoms? And all these named a bunch of symptoms, man. Some of which, of course, I have because I'm disabled and I just have some, symptoms. Yeah. But I just said no to all of it because, if for some reason you got turned away or you refused, and the one good thing is they didn't take my temperature, which that was supposed to be a part of it. And some courthouses are doing that, but they didn't scan me. So, but still, anyway, so they said, you go on in, and I got myself together, went up to there, and I was only sitting in the lobby about 10 minutes before they put us in the courtroom, but I used that 10 minutes to talk to everybody in the lobby about how COVID's a lie, a hyped up, flu, and many, many other things, COVID related, of course, and about the New World Order. And nobody, nobody could look away. I mean, they all were interested, and nobody said you're wrong or anything like that. It seemed like they were very receptive to what I was saying, and one other person, because I did tell everybody this was the first time I put a mask on, and one or two other persons said it was the first time for them as well, and but everybody, of course, had a mask on. And then we get in the courtroom, and one lady just has one of those plastic shields with no uh, medical mask underneath it. And I usually see the people with the shield and the mask. Um, and then, so none of the court people were social distancing, but we had to social distance in the lobby, and there's stickers everywhere. And then when you get in the courtroom, the long benches that you sit on, the church pew looking things, they every 6 feet, they had a sticker. So, we all had to sit in those. And then so when the judge comes in, he has a mask on, but he sits down and he has somebody like, sitting right beside him, like, I mean, close enough to, you know, give him a, you know, hug, whatever. Uh, keep it clean. Um, and so he goes, I'm gonna go ahead and take my mask off. So the judge takes his mask off, and like I said, no, everybody else is, they're all sitting right on top of each other, standing right on top of each other, and but had we dared you know, not, we'd have been in trouble. But, so um, I already knew that I was going to be one of the first people up there because I saw the list and I was number 5 on it. I ended up being just number 2. So I got up there and I said, or my lawyer just basically took over. I didn't even say my name, where normally I think, every time you're supposed to say your name. Anyway, the lawyer told uh, the judge that, you know, he hadn't had the chance to really talk to me, which wasn't really true. I mean, we had a long phone interview, but we hadn't met in person and talked. Uh, but so he 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 explained to the judge that I would have very little points uh, from this if I was convicted, so I wouldn't have anywhere close enough points for them to send me to prison, of course. And so he goes, Mr. Logson understands that he could plead out guilty today, and you could sentence him, and it would probably be just some probation. And so I spoke up and said, well, if that was the case, so I wouldn't be able to defend myself at all. And the judge says, "Oh, well, you'd be able to tell me whatever you want me to know." And I'm like, I said, well, I think maybe it would be better for me and my lawyer to get together and discuss all options. So the judge was cool about it and gave me a continuance, which was what I wanted in the first place. So I go back in mid October, um, and that'll be my plea day. That day would have been a plea day today, and but I didn't. I don't feel like I'm guilty, so I was not going to plead guilty even just to get. And he could have gave me time served from the 3 days I went in there, but I'm sure he would have probably given me some kind of paper. And so I'm going to continue to fight it, and but they did, of course, say too that because I'm taking it to trial, that they could give me the max, which in this case would be actually 10 years, which is absurd. So I know that you know uh, I wouldn't get that, and it would. I know that I know that this is going to work out. I just it's all good. But so now, if I go back in October and I plead not guilty, which will be the plan, then they will set a trial date, which would probably be like January or something like that. Could be December, but I don't know. It just depends on how far they get because they haven't even started jury trials yet. They're planning to start them in September, I think. Start back at them. Other than that, I heard my lawyer and the state attorneys, the whatever the offense, the state's lawyers, they were kidding around and talking, and they were like, the judge could throw some of these cases out, that are trying to go to trial because they're so backed up already, and whatnot. And then the I heard the criminal the state attorney ask my lawyer about me, and so my lawyer went over and checked his clipboard, to see what notes he had on me, and the state guy's following him over there, kind of like, yeah, I want to see too, and my lawyer says, oh, these are my secret notes, you can't you can't see this. And so I was like, yeah, back off. But anyway, so yeah, it was really, really rough to wear the mask. I'm still down and out about it, and I feel like I let everyone down that I've told not to wear a mask and that I would never wear a mask. And I'm ashamed of myself for giving in. Uh, My only alternative would have been to probably get a contempt of court. And I don't know. I even debated that too. I thought about this morning just going in there and telling them to lock me up until the trial. You know, and I don't know. Part of me still wants to do that to avoid putting on a mask again. Because if I go to jail, I don't have to wear a mask. And I don't even know if they could force me to wear a mask back in the court that way once I'm in jail. Because it'd be like, what are you going to do? I'm in jail. But I don't know. I guess they could fine me. Who knows? Anyway, um, I think I'm going to get on to sharing some of this stuff that I want to share. And I'm sorry I'm not really looking at the chat right now, but I'll try to get in there in a minute and look. So tonight I watched a movie that just, you know, I'm going to show you the trailer for. Just look at this. This is unreal. How the how before the fire used planes, a burning house, and Humvees to reverse engineer the timeliest script of the year. What's the timeliest script of the year, folks? COVID-19, the pandemic, flu pandemic. Yeah, well, this is a movie that's based on a flu pandemic that was wrote and made before uh, the COVID-19 thing. Yeah. So this article says before the fire, before the fire director Charlie Bueller and writer star Jenna Lying Adams. Oh, Lion. Ling, I guess. I'm sorry. Ling. It looked like Lion when I first saw it. Like, who'd want a middle name called Lying? Ling. All right. Didn't have millions of dollars when they started work on their sci fi drama, but they did have access to a few things uh, that they knew could be very cinematic planes, Humvee, a farm, and a house that needed burning down. In the purest DIY indie filmmaking fashion, they reversed engineered Adams' script. And because Adams had long been fascinated by the end of the world scenarios, they happened to make a film about a pandemic. A pandemic that bears strikingly similarities to COVID 19. When I wrote this movie, I didn't see this happening realistically in this world, said Adams. A lot of it was guessing. She made some very good guesses about the transportation troubles, panic, people stockpiling weapons, and even the current fight over the U.S. Postal Service. But even the decision to make a pandemic the focus of a film came out of a DIY necessity. Necessity. We wanted to create something that would cause worldwide upheaval, uh, worldwide chaos that would also be invisible and therefore cheap. Wow, isn't that weird? Did you just hear that? We wanted to create something that would cause worldwide upheaval, worldwide chaos that would also be invisible and therefore cheap, says Bueller in the latest movie maker interviews. Whoa, doesn't that sound weird? It's like them. That's if Bill Gates, decided to be honest and said, we wanted to create something that would cause worldwide upheaval, worldwide chaos, and be invisible. They're cheap. Yeah, that's something Gates has on his mind, isn't it? Wow, pretty weird. And I'm just putting this out there that the CIA has been involved with movie making forever. I mean, so this is a little stinky to me. All right, so let's go ahead and watch the trailer. Fuck. And I watched the whole movie tonight. I'll give you a link. You can watch it online. And man, I immediately thought about Mad Pyman and others, because because um, in this movie, everything that Mad has going on right there, with all the travel restrictions and stuff, that is in America in this movie. Yeah, the shutdown and travel restrictions and all martial law. I mean, it's they knew something. Here we go. Before the fire.
All listeners, please be advised the curfew will go into effect in approximately 10 p.m. We'll break down the Department of Defense's plan for pandemic influenza and their intended response on the...
For what?
We'll break down the Department of Defense's plan for pandemic influenza and their intended response on the Chao Phraya outbreak.
What's the plan? You always have a plan.
A flight.
Okay. Where are we going?
It's in the middle of nowhere. It's perfect. It's a farm.
Your family hates me.
No, they don't.
Ava.
The virus has not spread there yet. We'll wait it out, and then as soon as it's over, we will come right back home.
Used to be 3 of us out here. You know, everybody got scared. Now it's just me.
You just kind of left.
I don't even feel like a choice. I just had to go. Kelly doesn't even know all of it. Not everything.
This is family business.
I promise you, I will never let anything bad happen to you.
You're not gonna get very far. Ava, run!
I can't stay here.
You don't have to pretend with me. I know you're tough.
Where's Kelly?
You already guessed that, didn't you?
You are not going to die for me.
Keep your head down! Do it! Ah! What the hell are you doing?
I wish they had better clips. Like throughout it, you hear the news, talking about this, that, and the other, all the martial law stuff. Yeah, it's hated by the critics too. I mean, like it has like 2 stars, 3 stars, something like that. But it's just amazing how something could get that close to what we're dealing with right before it comes out, a pandemic that bears striking similarities to COVID-19, and then all the martial law and travel restrictions, and like I said, even the postal service crap. So yeah, pretty crazy, man. And I will, like I said, drop a link for you guys. I'll do that right now for that movie if you want to watch it. All right, so have any of y'all heard about this? The U.S. quarantine stations. Folks, this is just a different word than FEMA camps, but that's all it is FEMA camps with a different word. Please pay attention to this. Please, 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 please. So, U.S. quarantine stations are a part of a comprehensive system that serves to limit the introduction and spread of contagious diseases in the United States. There are 20 ports of entry and land border crossings where most international travelers arrive. They are staffed with medical public health officers from the Center of Disease Control. I said centers, not centers, and managed by CDC's Division of Global Migration and Quarantine. These health officers decide whether ill persons can enter the United States and what measures should be taken to prevent the spread of contagious diseases. All right, so that's my thumbnail for today show, and you could see where there's one in all these places where there's a yellow dot, and I guarantee you there's more than this too. There's more than this, but you got one in Miami, Atlanta, two in Texas, or three in California. You got one in Seattle, one in Alaska. You got Minnesota, Chicago, Detroit, Virginia or Washington D.C., Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Boston, of course. Yeah, on and on and on. So, San Juan, Puerto Rico, and wait till you see the video I've got to show you on these quarantine facilities. Now here's the news when I put in U.S. quarantine facilities. Vietnamese fruit exports to U.S. halted as COVID-19 keeps expecting officials away. So that's another way that there's food shortages, is because of them not letting food in because they're short on inspectors, or they're backed up, or whatever. So that's another thing I wanted to talk about too tonight is shortages. There are shortages of so many things, and that will lead to shortages of more things, and it seems it will never end. But I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just saying, there definitely are food shortages on the way, and other things. In that movie, there was insulin shortages. You need to think about that too. At some point, if you're on insulin, I thank God that I'm not a diabetic. It runs in my family. I hope I never become a diabetic. I try to keep my weight down because I don't want to be a diabetic, and that's a big part of it. But yeah, shortages of tires, shortages of all kinds of things. It's just unreal, and the farmers. There's so many shortages of crops from all the damage done in the last couple of years that way. All right, so let's see. S&P 500 nearly breaks all-time records despite pandemic's hit on U.S. Let's see. Bahamas reverses ban on U.S. travelers, but requires quarantine of 14 days when you arrive at the Bahamas. Who's going to quarantine for 14 days if they're going on vacation? Normally for not even that long. How are you going to go enjoy the Bahamas if you've got a quarantine, and you got to do it in a government facility? Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Oh my goodness, dude. Let's go to the Bahamas so we can be in a FEMA camp for 2 weeks before we even get to enjoy our vacation. Oh my goodness, man. All right, so how about this? U.S.-Canadian border remains closed to non-essential travel, increasing cross-border complications. So another month, we've got another month of this here, where they're got this shut down. Can't go to Canada. And New Zealand sends 500 military staff to bolster FEMA camps, quarantine facilities. There you go. An additional 500 Defence Force personnel will be deployed to patrol New Zealand's quarantine hotels as the investigation continues to track down the source of Auckland's outbreak more than a week after the first cases emerged. The military will also be deployed to monitor New Zealand's maritime borders, the ports, as testing of thousands of staff at the ports and Auckland and Tauranga continues. Last week, New Zealand recorded its first case of locally transmitted COVID-19 in 102 days. 5 people are being treated in the hospital, and 125 people from the community related to Auckland cluster are being held in quarantine facilities. Okay, so let me get over here and show you. Right. Here we go. Let's listen to this.
As part of our overall national response to this new outbreak, I am now directing medical officers of health that all cases, confirmed cases, are to be managed in a quarantine facility. Now, this is different to how positive cases were managed when we were last at levels 4 and indeed 3, and shows how serious we are about limiting any risk of ongoing transmission, even in self-isolation and including to others in the household. This will apply to any cases and also close family members who might be at risk as appropriate. A reminder, these facilities have been set up specifically and have excellent processes and resources in place to look after people with COVID-19, including health staff on site at all times, and it will help us avoid any further inadvertent spread into the community as part of our overall response.
If someone refuses in our facilities to be tested, they have to keep staying.
Say what? Say what, bitch? I'm sorry I used that word, but
facilities to be tested, they have to keep staying. So they won't be able to leave after 14 days. They have to stay on for another 14. So they won't be able to leave after 14 days. They have to stay on for another 14 days. So it's a pretty good incentive. You either get your tests done and make sure you're cleared, or we will keep you in a facility long.
That sounds exactly like a FEMA camp to me. Yeah, and they just keep you in there until you comply. Isn't that something?
So I think most people will look at that and say, I'll take the test. I've got a number of questions about people refuse. What do we do if someone refuses to? I'll take the test. I've got a number of questions about people refuse. What do we do if someone refuses to be tested? Well, they can't now. If someone refuses in our facilities to be tested, they have to keep staying. So they won't be able to leave after 14 days. They have to stay on for another 14 days. So it's a pretty good incentive. You either get your tests done and make sure you're cleared, or we will keep you in a facility longer. So I think most people will look at that and say, I'll take the test.
No, I won't. Ooh. Oh boy, these people.
If you were listening a short time ago, we were talking to the Health Minister, Chris Hipkins, who says that the COVID-positive community cases are being moved into quarantine at the Jet Park Hotel. Well, the Minister who manages quarantine, Megan Woods, we did invite her onto the program this evening, but she declined that invitation. She did provide this statement. She says, we're working with the Ministry of Health to ensure there is capacity within our Auckland quarantine facility to accommodate positive COVID-19 cases. Since Tuesday night, Air Commodore Webb and his team have been carefully managing capacity to ensure we were ready to rapidly respond should quarantine facilities be required. Moving people with COVID-19 into quarantine as we all work together to urgently contain the current outbreak is an important part of our health response to help prevent the risk of virus spreading between family members and to other people in the community. Spare capacity at the Auckland quarantine facility is currently 61 rooms after the arrival of today's community cases. If you were
Oh.
When you house all these people together and they're kind of cut off from the rest of the world in this very, very unique situation.
They put up these temporary gray metal fencing all around, barricades all around the outside of the perimeter of the hotel, and they have U.S. Marshals guarding us to make sure we don't go stir crazy and just make a run for it.
U.S. Marshals.
And they have U.S. Marshals guarding us to make sure we don't go stir crazy and just make a run for it.
That is unreal. For you guys that didn't know, my grandmother, rest in peace, my mom's mom was the very first woman Deputy U.S. Marshal in the state of Florida, and she was one of the very first in the U.S. period. Woman, as a woman, she was one of the first women that was given the position of U.S. Deputy Marshal, whatever. Yep.
The plane and the ride was wild because it's not a normal commercial passenger jet. The State Department had chartered a cargo plane and they had retrofitted it with seats. And then in the back, there was 4 porta potties. Between the seats and the porta potties was a white plastic table with 2 State Department workers in white hazmat suits who would check your temperatures periodically during the flight. So we got our temperature checked 3 times.
I am at the Miramar Marine Corps Air Station, where we are going to be held in quarantine for 2 weeks. It is federally mandated. Basically, we're housed in these living quarters that are kind of a cross between a dorm and a motel room. We get breakfast, lunch, and dinner at designated periods throughout the day. And there are people that, come and clean every day. And, I've seen them outside as well, disinfecting the stairwells and the walls. In the hallways, on the doors, there are signs saying, best practices for reducing infection.
We get treated pretty well here. This is a multi-agency effort to make a quarantine like this work. The CDC is here, of course, the U.S. Public Health Service, the National Disaster Medical System, and the U.S. Marshals are here, of course, guarding us, and also the Administration for Children and Families. They all work to make this quarantine/summer camp run on a day-to-day basis.
FEMA camp.
In the mornings, we ask that we go to the main hall and get our temperature checked, which is then recorded on our log every day. We have a daily town hall meeting at 2 p.m. Dinner is 5 to 6, and then at night they also ask that we test our temperatures by ourselves with the thermometers that we've been given, and then record those and any potential symptoms also into our daily log.
After being in quarantine in China, where we weren't allowed to leave our rooms, this has been a nice change because not only are we allowed to leave our rooms, we get to leave the hotel and actually walk on the grounds of the hotel, which there's a lot of greenery and grass and palm trees. So that's really nice to be able to go outside and feel the wind and the sun.
Yeah, even prisoners get to go outside here in the U.S., lady.
We're not allowed to go further than hotel grounds.
Of course, and you can't go farther than the prison grounds when you're in prison, but it's pretty big.
Holding these lawn games, they call it, so soccer and football drills, and also essentially boot camp classes. Folks
imagine that.
Kind of nervous because some people from my evacuation flight are currently in the hospital being tested for the coronavirus.
Mandela affected plane there.
We got word here that one of the evacuees on the first flight into San Diego had tested positive for coronavirus. The reaction here was basically a lot of concern, a lot of questions, particularly because this patient had tested negative initially, returned to the compound, and then tested positive and was returned to the hospital. The CDC says that they isolated the patient from the time that she returned so that there was no risk to any other residents here. Some of the residents here are now asking for everyone to be tested for the coronavirus and also for people to be confined to their rooms.
People here at Travis were already quite anxious about socializing with each other. Most people are keeping to themselves. But after that news came out, they are on
get your soda
heightened
pops.
alert. I think there's a lot of questions on whether it's a good idea to keep having outdoor group activities like exercise classes or letting the kids, play soccer or football together. So a quarantine of this scale in the United States is very unusual. The CDC folks here told me that the last time we had this kind of mass quarantine of a population was in the 1950s. And there really hasn't been anything like this in the US for decades. During this outbreak, the US government has evacuated about 800 American citizens and their families from Wuhan and put them under quarantine. Now, that's a reasonably controlled population. But in China, we see that they've put about 60 million people under lockdown, under quarantine. And a quarantine of that size is without precedent. There's never been a quarantine that size before. And it remains to be seen whether a strategy like that is successful or not.
It isn't. That's crazy. That was the Wall Street Journal, by the way. Story. And this was RNZ. I don't know. Anyway, all right. Let's see. Yeah, saw that one. Let me check out this channel real quick. It's called TruthTube1111. That's the video we just watched, but let me see what else they got. Yeah. Forced vaccinations for all Irish. Y'all probably seen that. That's 2 months ago, but I just want to see it real quick. It's only 37 seconds. Come on. You see it's already loaded, but not playing.
Never before have so many been working so hard to develop a new vaccine. And all around the world, researchers are working in innovative collaboration, using cutting-edge medical technologies to find a vaccine for COVID-19.
Shove it up your...
We hope they are successful, and quickly. This vaccine will need to be affordable as well as effective, because if...
Oh, they're going to give it for free.
For it to be safe, everyone will need to be safe.
Well, I don't know about that. You could be paying with your soul.
So a COVID-19 vaccine will need to be distributed equitably, fairly, and globally. Nobody can be left behind, or we'll all be at risk.
Oh dear. All right, so quarantine facility. This is what I put in earlier. And man, this is 5 hours ago, 6 hours, 12 hours, 16 hours, a day. All these stories about people in a quarantine situation in one country or another. It's ridiculous. Italy. Yeah, let's look at this one real quick. This is 3 days ago, I think it's there. This is a floating FEMA camp, FEMA boat, or whatever, quarantine boat. They can get you on this thing and you may never come off of this boat. You might be ground up and fed to the sharks. Look at all these poor people being brought there. Oh, what a shame. I hope you people make it off that ship someday. It says Italy, hundreds of immigrants board new quarantine ship in Lampedusa, whatever, I don't know. This is from, like I said, 3 days ago, 2 days ago. Oops. Look at it, not one woman. I don't see any women. All men. What's the odds of that? See any women in that group? It's like all men. Is that a Volkswagen thing? Something like it. So sad. What a sad world. All these people getting put in camps. I still don't see any women. Nope. It's almost 4:20 somewhere. I hope y'all aren't going to your death. Damn. I gotta take a break from that one. All right, let's see what else. I think I shared everything. Click on for that. All right, let me read some of this off. Hey guys, I'm gonna start in here. I have to work in 7 hours or less. All right. Good to see you, Voynich, Carlo, Mad, Pyman, Waters Above. I'll open up a thing here and give some bitches out in just a minute. Rachel G, PRD, Brenda Mitchell. Anybody else is just listening? Appreciate you being here. Yeah, I was pretty devastated even before I had to put on the mask yesterday, and I'm still, like I said, pretty upset about it. And, I might still take some time away from YouTube, but I did say that I would make a video, go live, explaining everything going on, and that's what I'm doing tonight. And sharing some of the stuff that I want to share with you too that I found. But it's 1:19 somewhere. So let me go ahead and get one packed up. It'll be my last one for the night. Oh my goodness. So, my daughter is coming into town Sunday to get her the RAV4 that I bought her, and she's bringing my grandson, so I get to see my grandson again. And I was hoping that she was going to move here to Florida, but her and her fiance, her baby daddy fiance, got their own place there in Alabama. And so they're not going to move here now, but, at least she will have a good vehicle to come and see me, and she says she will come and see me frequently. It's only an hour away, so, it's not that bad. It's in a place that, is not somewhere I like to go. I've been there twice in the last 7 years that I've been back down here. And once was with my job, and I had a lot of anxiety. I did get through it, but it was really not fun to be there. My wife still lives in that area, and because of the hell that she put me and those kids through in that area, and the things that I saw too in that area and dealt with, I really, really, don't like to be there. I definitely couldn't live there again, and I wish my daughter wasn't in that area. It's very corrupt. The law enforcement, the justice system, the judges, and there's a lot of hard drug users in that area too. Very hard drug users, and so on and so on. Anyway, all right, it's 4:22 somewhere. Still got a little bit of a headache. Hopefully this doesn't make it worse. I took some CBD oil earlier. I think that's starting to help a little bit. I don't take aspirin or Tylenol or any of that crap, so can't do that. So, I'd love to hear about that, Mad Pyman. Would you like to join me for a few? It's very hard for me to get your situation off my mind, even with all the things that I'm dealing with here. I'm constantly thinking about you and your neighbors, your fellow Aussies, and I feel so horrible for you guys, and I can't stress enough to people here in the U.S. that what you're dealing with is coming here. If I haven't said it enough, folks, I was told about all this stuff was coming 28 years ago. 28. It's insane. I'm still not over the shock of the fact that we are here dealing with the New World Order that I was told about, and that I've been started saying 28 years ago. Down with the New World Order. No to the NWO. Unreal. Matt Pyman is joining the show, folks. I don't even know how many times we've done this, Matt Pyman, but I've always appreciated you joining me and your wisdom and insight. And yeah, I know you're loved in this community, and I'm sure people are constantly sending good vibes your way and praying for you, brother.
Yes, I appreciate it, man. Yeah.
Do you see it going away at any point, or do you see it getting worse? At some point.
No, it's not going to get any better until the Savior vaccine is released, and and then it'll be. Yeah, they've already told us everything that we thought would happen would, that'd be your freedoms would be conditional on the fact that you take the vaccine. If you don't take the vaccine, they've already said in the media that the government's already come out and said that we won't make it mandatory, but you might have difficulty entering businesses, using public transport, working, travelling, even just driving a car. Driver's license. It'll be everything. Everything will be. And then I think it was Mark Sargent put out a video saying that how he thinks it's going to run. You know what I mean? How it's going to play out. And I think he's pretty much right. It'll be you'll have to have some form of vaccine registration. They've already come out and said that as well here. So you'll have to have some vaccine identification. So exactly like everybody predicted, certificate of vaccine identification. Otherwise, you won't be able to do anything. And then and the people who have had the vaccine will be allowed the freedoms that we aren't, and we'll be seen as the lepers of society, and we'll still have to wear masks, and everyone will look at us like we're scum and we've got leprosy because we didn't take the vaccine. And as we know, it's going to replace all of our identification because there's going to be nanotechnology that'll be scanned as you enter every store and everywhere you go. They'll know whether you've been vaccinated or not. So it'll become your passport, your driver's license, your bank account, everything, all in one. So we're getting closer.
Yeah. Hey, Voynich, how's it going, bro? I'm
glad things worked out for you today, mate. Anyway.
Well, the contingency is fine for me, and to see the judge not really upset about it, about giving me one, and him agreeing that it's fine.
So this is just a hearing, yeah.
This would have been plea day. I could have ended it all today. I could have said, Judge, I'm guilty. Do what you're going to do with me, and he could have thrown the book at me, or just
I plead guilty if you're not guilty, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, people do it all the time,
Yeah, I know they do.
Well,
that's how attorneys make deals with judges. Yeah. That's how, and prosecutors. They all make a deal together.
And see, what they tell you is normally the judge says it himself, and he gives you that look, but he'll say, "Now I'm not supposed to do it, but if you take it to trial and you lose, I'm going to give you the max." And then they usually do. If they can get away with it, they usually do. But it's still about the points, and I wouldn't even have half the points that you would need to go to prison. So yeah. I just part of me wants to just go sit in jail right now till October, and then then maybe do it, and then you'd be like, here, time served, get out of here, whatever.
No. Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah, but then I got a convict. Yeah, then I would. You're right.
I can't see you going to jail at all, man. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I know. When it comes out,
like I said in a comment, it was either a complete misunderstanding that brought about the charges, all right, or you were stitched up. But either way, you had no idea you were taking.
It was lousy police work. I mean, they didn't want to press charges. They just wanted two of the items back. They were going to let me keep the other, and they said, look, just tell him if he brings the stuff back within 10 days, everything's good. That cop deliberately waited more than 10 days.
But don't the person that's been offended against, the victim, don't they have to press charges for the case to go forward?
No, all the state takes over. No, that's unfortunately the state of Florida just takes over.
That's the way the law used to work.
Yeah, right. But now he could call and say, I want to drop charges, and they sometimes do, or maybe even a lot of cases, but they don't have to, and and like, seeing my next door neighbor has known the guy that is the ultimate victim that owned the business, that I got the scrap metal from, but he's known him, and he's gone up there twice to try and talk to the dude, but he wasn't there or was busy or whatever. But then I found out if he does talk to him and the guy tries to drop the charges, then they can charge me with witness tampering, But I'm like, because they'll say I intimidated them or something, or had somebody.
Once the wheels have started turning, you can't get involved if you just can't.
Yeah. So anyway, I think once the facts come out that this place, they ran an ad giving away scrap metal, and then later they put scrap metal in the same spot and right next to the dumpster. So it's like accidental entrapment,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It's nuts.
For the police to even bother with it, man, is beyond belief.
Yeah, well, and for that police detective, this was a detective, man. He was told by that guy to just come over to my house, which is a half a mile away, and he said, just tell him what, like I said, he said, tell him that to just bring back 2 of the items, and he keep the third one, and everything's good within 10 days. The cop came over to my house at some point during that 10 days, or maybe on the 10th day, I don't know, but he came over, and I was pulling into my driveway at that time. He was sitting in front of my house, and I got out and waved and smiled at him, stood there, and he just drove off instead of getting out and saying anything at all like he was supposed to. And then he goes to a family court judge and says, "Oh, we need a SWAT team to talk to this guy."
And then they slaughtered you.
Yeah, and they bust in with a SWAT team and a flash grenade, over scrap metal, man. Come on, dude.
You could be suing them, man.
I know. Everybody says that. I know that. I haven't even threatened that. But I am damaged by it. I mean, it's. This whole thing has cost me thousands of dollars too.
You'd have PTSD for sure, man. After that.
Oh yes, I do. I definitely do. My cat does. Every time she hears somebody knock on the door, she freaks out now because especially that now too loud. But I mean, yeah, it really freaked her out. All those men coming in like that, and but that was just really lousy. Detective work, and I mean, I've never had a gun or weapon charge. There's no reason for him to have felt like I was going to do some harm to them or something by them coming to talk to me. I mean, it's just
definitely. Yeah, I reckon you got stitched up, man. Somebody's fucking going after you, man. I'm just looking for a reason,
Yeah.
No one gets swatted for that sort of shit. That's crazy, man. What the fuck?
Well, all right. The only other thing is they looked at my Facebook, and it still says exactly what it said then. It says resistor of tyranny at freedom fighter. So either resistor of tyranny scared them or freedom fighter, which, but I'm not a part of any kind of group, militia, or nothing like that. And I don't post stuff about, things like that, or violence or guns.
Did you hear what happened to PK?
A censorship, or I mean,
no, something similar something along the lines of what happened to you.
How long ago?
Like 3 or 4 days ago.
Wow.
He got a door knock from the anti-terrorism task force.
Ooh. Wow. I just got goosebumps.
He said in a video. He said in a video because he was fuming angry, right? And without thinking, he said he was talking about the health minister in Victoria. I won't mention his name, but he said somebody should hang him, and he said I'd like to be the one to put the noose around his neck.
Oh boy, yeah, gotcha.
And they came and door knocked him and talked to him for a while. Freaked him out, man. But he's been arrested before, man, over making videos. Over bird flu. Yeah.
Oh man!
If you upset the wrong people, man, that's what happens. Well, any excuse, mate. You know? Or you were stitched up, man. That might have been a reason. You know, they might have set that up. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
But you said that the owner wasn't interested in pressing charges. So
yeah,
it doesn't sound like he wasn't
detective.
He wasn't involved. So. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you look at Carla, if you look at it's like what I occupation or whatever, I'm under my under my name, it does say resistor of tyranny. But I think everybody should be a resistor of tyranny, right? I mean, tyranny is when tyrants are trying to, enslave you, control, enslave you, and and everybody should fight for their freedom too. I mean,
everybody, man. Yeah.
Oh dear. What a world. Yeah, PK censored. Yep. I've been watching his videos for sure, but I didn't see that.
He talked about it on his live stream the other day.
Okay, yeah. I usually just watch the little short ones that he has.
So yeah, he rang me and told me about it before.
Does he have 2 channels or just 1?
Yeah, 2.
He's got 2 working channels.
Huh? Yeah, two channels here. One's PK
maybe
censored.
I'm not subscribed to both of them then. I think that's
the other one's PK censored again too. Yeah. You probably won't get both of them if you just typed in PK. You probably won't even get him at all.
Right.
Yeah, an interesting video came out today about he put up. It was an interview with the head of Victoria Police, and they were holding a press conference, and they came out and told everyone that since the pandemic started, for the entire time, right, only 42 people have been charged with not being home when they should have been self-quarantining. But the reason we went into lockdown was because, the stage 4 lockdown, which we're in now, which is the worst, was because people weren't staying at home, and apparently 1 out of every 4 people that they door knocked on weren't home. They were saying there was, hundreds of people that weren't at home, And then we find out later that only 42 were charged out of 300,000 door knocks. They charged 42 people. So we're in a lockdown for a lie, because that was the reason they gave for the spreading of the virus.
I just subscribed to his regular channel. I just found it. Yeah.
What's up, fellas?
Hey, Rick, what's happening, man?
Yeah, stay strong, man. We all love you, and we're behind you, mate. And we know you haven't done anything wrong. And,
can you hear Rick? Mag, can you hear Rick?
No, I can't hear you.
Okay, well, you might have to pop in and pop back out, one of y'all or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, now I'll try.
I'll
go in and out.
You
hear me, man? All right.
Oh, okay.
That's weird.
Yeah, I've got a headache, so I'm trying not to talk too loud tonight, and it keeps coming and going on me here, and I'm feeling it at the moment. But
don't tell anyone you got a headache, man, because that's a symptom of COVID. And hiccups, headaches. I reckon itchy feet are going to be a symptom very soon.
Itchy balls.
Itchy balls.
I know if you call, it doubles your chances too, right?
What's that?
You're a big guy. If you're a big guy, if you're a tall person, it doubles the chances.
Oh,
of getting
yeah.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
I'm tall. Yeah,
tall
you're
people,
right. Yeah,
tall people are fucked.
that makes sense because it
Yeah.
all starts going down so fast. You know, if you think shorter people would be because it falls down on them. You know.
Yeah,
How,
this
how,
is
come,
like the
how,
smartest
come the,
virus.
how come the
It's
NBA
like
still going on there? What's going on there?
I didn't catch that.
right. It's like the smartest virus there is. It knows not to go inside the restaurants or not to attack you when you're going to the bathroom or eating or
It only comes out. It only
you
comes.
know, it's got a mind of its
It
own.
only comes out after 8 o'clock here. That's when we can't. We're not allowed to go outside.
Right, yeah, it knows the curfew.
It's
Yeah.
hiding in the bushes. It's a fucking. It's a curfew. It's a curfew ninja. Curfew
Get
fucking.
ready to jump
Curfew.
at it at any time. And
What's
it
that?
just may aim for your eyes too, so you better be wearing your goggles.
Yeah. All of our police wear goggles now.
Are they really?
Yeah, all the ones that are out on the road, you know, and on the street. Yeah.
They're all wearing goggles or a face shield, or yeah,
No, they're
the
wearing
goggles
masks and goggles. Yeah.
and goggles. So none of them have a face shield, just mask and goggles. Oh my
They look
goodness!
like complete retards.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
You know, you remember like real nerdy kids, man, who had the really thick glasses that you could only just see through. They were like goggles. That's what they look like, man. They look like.
Right, the
Yeah, the real
Coca-Cola
thick Coca-Cola
glasses.
ones. Crazy.
Yeah, that's
And they're
wow.
like really violent, fucking angry nerds. It's like, fucking, what's going on, man? What world is this? If you see, there's a few people videos people have put up about people trying to go through past Parliament House in Melbourne, and look, because you know everyone's in total lockdown and you're not allowed to travel anywhere. They've got like, oh, I don't know, there's hundreds of police, and they're just all over the road, around the road. They're stopping anyone
Right.
who walks through, drives through, rides a bike. And yeah, you just get surrounded instantly, like by 10 police, you know what I mean? And they're all like coming into you, and they're all in your face, and they're like, "What are you doing here? What's your name? Where do you live?" This one guy, he didn't have his own, he was riding a push bike, a bicycle, right? And he lives in the city. He lives close to where all the police are. And they stopped him, and they said, "What's your name?" And he gave him his name, and he said, "I live, you know, within the correct radius of area from my house, you know, within 5 kilometres, 3 miles." And they said, "Where's your ID? We need your ID." And he's like, "I haven't got my ID on me." And he said, "I don't need my ID to leave the house. I live within the 5 kilometres, so I'm allowed to leave the house for exercise, you know." And they're like, "No, we need your ID." And they arrested him, mate. And yeah.
Oh my
It
goodness!
was crazy, man, and they're all like mental psychopaths, man. I'm telling you, they're turning.
Yeah, and it's not like I understand what you mean. You got like 10 of them around you. It's not like 2 of them are asking you questions.
It's crazy.
You got 8 to
Yeah.
10 people barking questions at you.
Yeah, and they're not socially distancing.
Oh yeah, of course not. Yeah, yeah. Wow,
Only
they
guys
arrest
love.
him for not having his ID on him.
And it's happening, man. And people, like, there's been a couple of dubious videos that have come out. One about the woman that was getting choked in Melbourne, but that was a stage. That was completely staged. But I'm not doubting
Really?
that it is happening, but that was put out there to put fear into people's minds, you know, and obey
Right.
and comply with the rules, you know. Or this will happen to you, you know. But they really are physical, man, and they'll just grab you straight away, you know. They're just waiting to bash people's heads in. It's crazy, man. It's like they're all infested with demons. It's not good.
Yeah, well, someone made it for a reason, right? Someone faked it for a reason.
Yeah.
That's the way you got to look at it. But
If it goes mainstream, if it's on the news and everybody sees it and everyone's talking about it, and yeah, you can't believe it, you know, because the real shit, you know, it doesn't make TV. You know? Very little. And then they spin it around, and you know, call us COVID idiots, all the people that are fighting for their freedom and get punished by the police, you know. They stole that. They stole that back off us and use it against us. And Karens are all retarded now, you know. That was another stage one. Did you see that one? That was the Australian Karen, they called her. It was in a warehouse. Have you seen that one, Tony? She's trying to get into a store without a mask.
No, I'm not. Oh, maybe I did. Yeah, I think so.
That's I think that was stage 2. I think. But it's yeah, they're not really knowing what they're talking about, and yeah, just acting like complete dickheads, and it going viral, you know, all over the world and all over the news, you know. So yeah, it's hard to believe it if it's everywhere.
Right. Yeah, they don't let nothing go viral that they don't want to go viral. That's for sure.
Yeah, only if it suits them. It suits their agenda.
Voynich, you're welcome to join us if you want to, or anybody else for that matter that has joined me before, Carla, whatever. Sorry, you know how I roll. As long as you're not a troll. I want to. Yeah, you're a special troll. So I just want to check out this quick video here real quick. Raw IT here. Hit a play.
We're in this brand new testing facility that we've worked with Swissport and with Heathrow to set up. So simple thing is the passengers will pre-book a test. They'll work with the airlines to come through. They'll pre-book the test. Once they've pre-booked, they'll come through here. As you can see here, we've got this facility.
Hell no.
They'll come through. We've got nurses here attending. They will do the test. It's the PCR test. So it's exactly the same as the NHS test that we're using. Very simple and very quick. Once that test has been done, they will be given another test to take home with them. So they'll take that test home. And then a few days later, they will do that test themselves. They'll put it in the post. Again, similar to the NHS online. They'll post it back to us. We'll put it to the labs. Providing that test comes back negative, then they will be free from quarantine and they'll be able to go about their holiday or their business trip.
In Britain, we're still imposing a 14-day quarantine on anyone coming from a higher. We need to do better than this. If we are going to rebuild our economy, give us the green light to go ahead with testing. Testing is a very good way of making sure that people don't have COVID. It's what we rely on with the NHS workers. And it is good enough for the NHS, good enough for visitors to this country to start to get people traveling again and to help us rebuild the economy.
Well, we're working with Heathrow on the project. We announced.
I love this guy, mate.
The challenge is because the virus can incubate inside your body without coming forward and without therefore a test being positive, even if you've got it. The challenge is how to do that testing in a way that that we can have confidence enough in to release the quarantine. But it absolutely is the project that we're
the word of the month, y'all, is quarantine now. It's quarantine. You know, they're turning anything and everything into quarantine camps. You know,
remember Q, trust the plan. Q is for quarantine.
Yeah,
I'd rather roll around in dog doo doo than listen to Q. Shush.
It's a strange coincidence, though, man, isn't it?
There are no coincidences, though. Yeah.
Right.
Brenda says she needs some coffee. Ooh. Okay. I can't
believe all day today.
Yeah, people are falling for it though. It sucks.
So hey, I'll get a bit of a story for you. We had I'm a union delegate at my work, and the other one, like, I'm not very useful at the moment. Oh, I haven't been for a while because I'm always offside. I'm always out driving doing deliveries. So pretty much he's left by himself, and he's been threatened by the company, harassed. They've been given a hard time most of the time, and he's pretty much trying to help everybody on site just by himself. Anyway, since this COVID shit started, I'd say we haven't had any on-site representation from the union. Only when major problems happened, they'd show up. Ever since we lost the last organiser that used to come out, he got sacked because I think he worked out something was wrong and stood up for what was right, and they got rid of him because it seems like the whole division of the union that I'm in have sold out to the major corporations and the government, and they're doing everything they can, for the major corporations. I work for a big one, so. Anyway, so what happened was he had a workplace incident, and he was injured, in a workplace accident. And the union were called, and they're supposed to be all about safety. It's what they hang their hat on, and that's what drives better conditions for workers, and everything comes back to safety. And the companies are all about it too, in this day and age. We've got a safety committee and all that. But anyway, he got hurt at work, and the union were called, and they're expected to show up that day when something major happens and someone gets injured. And they didn't turn up. And he waited. He's been sending emails. He's had plenty of phone calls, sent lots of messages. He's recorded all of it. And they only turned up today. This is 10 days later.
Wow.
Anyway, in the meantime, probably after about 4 days, he contacted the same union that I'm a part of, but contacted another branch of the same union to give him some representation on site, and check out what's going on and what happened, and because our normal union weren't interested.
Mm-hmm.
So, being part of the same union, I don't think it was that much of a big deal. They are different branches, but they're still part of the same, organisation. But anyway, so what happened this morning was they turned up really early, and they tried to railroad my friend. And they tried to get people to vote him out and someone else to get voted in because they said that he betrayed the union and he went to the other union. And, without telling everyone the full story, obviously.
Wow.
But anyway, so this is going on, and we're just like shell shocked, and they're like, we need an answer today. Who you want to be the new delegate, and we're going to replace this guy. He's a traitor. We can't trust him, and blah blah. And then anyway, we're in the office, and my friend turns up. He's got a bad back, and he heard that they'd turned up and were trying to get rid of him. And I think the company wouldn't let the other union on site when the problem was happening, But when this union wanted, the one that sold us out, the original one, when they said they were coming, because obviously they're working with the company, it wasn't a problem. And anyway, the one that was helping him out, the other side, the other branch, when they turned up, it was like an all in fucking verbal fucking stoush, mate. It was good, but he was very upset when he turned up, and yelling in the office. And we went outside and we're trying to cool down, and then the manager came out to me and he said, "We're not stopping again," but because he didn't want him to talk to the members,
Mm-hmm.
which he really shouldn't be able to stop. But Works, a government organisation called WorkSafe, they were coming out to do another inspection after the original one because when the shit hit the fan, The inspectors went through the whole site and checked all the machinery and tagged machinery out because it was unsafe, and gave them the requirements that were needed for the COVID-19 safety design, for your workplace. That wasn't up to scratch. All these things they had to improve. And WorkSafe, so they were coming back. WorkSafe were coming back to do another inspection. At the same time that my mate was going off his head, and they were arguing with the union. He was arguing with the union, and so it was full on. And then later on, there's other people who are trying to get rid of him. One that I work with, he can't see the light. He's got a personal conflict with my friend, so he wants to get rid of him, and he still thinks that this union is going to help, but they're not working for us anymore, and they probably haven't been for a long time. And since this COVID was declared a pandemic, which it never was declared, but anyway, since that shit happened, they haven't been out because the other organiser that we did have, he was fired because he stood up and tried to do the right thing. Obviously, they didn't want him, and they change the organisers all the time. They never stay. So there's definitely something wrong.
Right.
But yeah, it's been a full-on day, and I don't know. I've done well to keep my shit together. I don't know. I've done real well. I don't know how I got through, mate. Really. The anxiety was creeping in, and the nervous tension, and I had to go around and try and explain to people what the true story was, so they've got a better idea, because a lot of people haven't got a clue. He's got too much on his shoulders because he's pretty much doing it by himself anyway.
So, what else is going on there as far as any more lockdown, any more craziness? And we have Carla Redpill join us. Let me stop screen share.
Hello.
Hey, Carla. Good to have you.
Hi, kids.
Good to see you, Carla.
Hey.
What'd you think about the quarantine? What'd you think about the quarantine centers, Carla? The quarantine camps. Can you hear me?
That was directed to you, Carla.
I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear Tommy?
Something weird is going on. I've got some kind of crazy delay. Hold on.
Okay.
All right. Is that better? Can you guys hear me now?
Can you hear Tommy?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Man, what a disaster, huh? I was talking to Tim today about 7 months ago, when I think we were about 2 days into this, and I was crying. I knew it was biblical right away. It's just, I was brought up in a Pentecostal home, and my grandmother was really into the rapture and, the tribulations, and I probably knew a lot more about the book of Revelation than I should have at that age. And so my whole life, I've heard this was coming, and I was always told I was going to be a part of this. So a couple of days into this, I'm sitting here in the house, and just, it had just started. It was like when they very first started the mask thing. So, it was in different parts of the country, hadn't gotten here yet. But I just knew what was going to happen. And Tim said, why are you freaking out? Why are you crying? I don't get it. This is going to be over with in a couple of weeks. And I was like, no, dude, it's not going to be over with.
Not going away.
No, we got into the worst fight. It's the worst fight that we've ever had about this stuff. And he's like, you overreact about everything. And I'm like, no, Tim, I know in my heart that this is, what I've been taught my whole life. I know that I know where this is headed, and I'm upset right now, thinking about that fight, because it was so horrible. And we went back and forth for hours, and I had to leave the room and he'd come in and apologize. And I just couldn't be around him. I was so frustrated. I don't know. I told Brian about it. Tim has not worn a mask anywhere but work but he has always worn a mask to work because he works for nuclear power plants and they work around a lot of, toxic materials and stuff. But we're sitting here the other night and he was looking at Amazon and and I said, "What did you just buy?" I could hear that he ordered something. You can hear it on his computer. When you make a purchase, it kind of makes a little bell noise on Amazon. And I said, "What'd you just buy?" And he said, "Oh, I got us some masks." I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, I got us some masks." He said, "If we're going to have to wear a mask, I figure we may as well represent Trump. So I got us 4 Trump masks." And I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Oh, no. So
that's 2 strikes. That's 2 strikes.
I took, oh, yeah. So anyway, I took a picture of him. I sent him Brian tonight. But it's just like, seriously, I don't know where he flipped, where it's like, did he take another download? I don't know. But when did he flip where that suddenly he's ready to comply and just roll over and wear a mask because and if he's going to he wants to represent the government when he does it. So whatever, I don't know. That's all I got for this moment. I'm a mess.
Trust the pandemic.
Exactly, mad. Seriously.
Wow. Let me share a video real quick then we could talk about this. Hang on, guys.
I've been arguing with my girlfriend all year, and she's only just realised I was right about Bill Gates and the vaccine. So I'm making progress. Slow.
Yeah, it's a mess. I'm not making any progress with him. It's just going backwards, mad.
The whole thing's a mess. I think it's designed that way. The more we fight, the harder it gets.
Oh, yeah. But you can't help but speak your truth, mate. That's what we do, isn't it? You hear lies, you have to expose it. And I can't help myself. I can't be silent. When I hear lies, I just expose it. Sorry, that's bullshit.
Well, he can't admit that, so much of the stuff that I tell him is real. Even when he sees it, he'll see it on television and I'll say, "Remember 5 months when I was telling you this?" And he's just like, he looks at me like I'm I'm another conspiracy wacko. And I'm just a woman. And, I'm emotional and I just think too much and I'm in my own head too much. And it's like, no, dude. I'm not your average woman. And that's not meant to insult other women, but I might not be the most well-spoken person in the world, but I definitely,
you speak well, Carla. You're fine.
I don't know about that, but
no, you do.
I just feel like, that I'm
real,
able.
You're real. Real's all that matters. Doesn't matter how well spoken you are. That's the only thing that matters. It's the truth. Being true to yourself and real with everyone. That's all you can do.
Yeah, I try to be. To him, I guess to him, I don't know. I love him. I love the guy so much. He's such a good man. He's a good provider and he's a decent human being and he has a great heart, but he's so close-minded about anything that he can't touch with his hands. Anything, unless it's viable and it's right there and he can touch it and he can see it with his own eyes. He can't step outside of that safety zone
comfort
it's
zone.
comfort zone. Yeah.
It's
Didn't he used to believe in the Mandela effect?
He was awake to it for about the first year that we were together, and I laid down and took a nap one day, and when I woke up, it was almost as if he was a different person, and he's never been that person that I remember before that. And I know it sounds crazy to people, but it's the honest to God truth. It's almost like somebody came in, like it was like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and he's not a bad person. He is the same decent, good, loving man that he was before. He just really honestly has no memory, or or he's faking it. I mean, I can't believe he's that good of an actor, you know. But that part of him disappeared that was open minded and that believed the stuff that I believe. So
What do y'all see here on the screen?
Cash.
What's that? Oh, Monopoly bag?
No, well, what do you see? I mean, you see the double lines.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's in a new movie called Capone. There's a new movie called Capone about Al Capone,
Right.
and that's a scene in it. And then I got another one here too. That was a picture he was shown. They showed him, but then this one he drew. He drew in the movie, and it's a picture he was supposed to draw of that bag of cash. And there you go. See, he drew it with the double line.
The two lines.
Yeah. That's a brand new movie called Capone. It's a kind of a B-rated movie or whatever. But anyway, I found that in that. Yep.
To say that never existed is absolutely ridiculous, man. Everybody knows it did.
Right.
Everybody remembers a dollar sign like that.
And for you cat lovers, what is your favorite cat breed? That looks like my Missy right there, my little Missy.
Yeah.
That one looks like BB, the one I gave my sister. Yeah, a bunch of pretty cats there. All right, so we got this video. It's crazy. I can't find much. I can't find much on fusion centers. So I don't know if this is going to be any good or not, but I want to see what it says about fusion centers. It's supposed to explain what they are. They're spy on us centers is what they are. But okay, didn't want to hear that. That's not helping my headache.
A fusion center is an intelligence gathering, analysis and dissemination state or major urban area center, which is owned by state, local, and territorial law enforcement and Department of Homeland Security entities, many of which were jointly created between 2003 and 2007 under the U.S. Department of Homeland Security and the Office of Justice Programs in the U.S. Department of Justice. They are designed to promote information sharing at the federal level between agencies such as the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the U.S. Department of Justice, and state, local, and tribal law enforcement. As of February 2018, the U.S. Department of Homeland Security recognized 79 fusion centers.
Woo!
Fusion centers may also be affiliated.
79, that is a lot.
That's more than one estate, man.
Yeah. That's probably just the ones that they're telling you about, but still, that's a lot.
With an emergency operations center that responds in the event of a disaster. The National Network of Fusion Centers was established after the September 11th attacks to provide a focal point for successful collaboration across jurisdictions and sectors to effectively and efficiently detect, prevent, investigate, and respond to criminal and terrorist activity. It is a decentralized,
Washington, D.C.
distributed, self-organizing national asset composed of state and major urban area fusion centers and their respective nodes within each center's area of responsibility. This composition enables the national network to meet local needs, while providing value information to understand the national landscape of threats and criminal activity.
The threats and criminal activity are done by the people recording the information.
Resistors, dissidents. Yeah. Oh boy, man. Woo.
And intelligence across levels and sectors of government to integrate information for analysis. That is, the process relies on the active involvement of state, local, tribal, and federal law enforcement agencies.
And snitches.
And sometimes on non-law enforcement agencies.
Contract tracers.
For example, private sector, to provide the input of raw information for intelligence analysis. As the available diverse information sources increases, there will be more accurate and robust analysis that can be disseminated as intelligence. A report by the House Homeland Security Committee titled Advancing the Homeland Security Information Sharing Environment, a review of the National Network of Fusion Centers that was published in November 2017 had overwhelming amounts of positive feedback on the accomplishments and improvement of the network since their last review in 2013, in addition to several recommendations for future improvement in operations and collaboration. It highlights in particular the strides federal partners, namely the Department of Homeland Security, and fusion centers have made in sharing critical information.
You know what's funny? They can never ever stop a terrorist attack.
Look what we stopped it on 322.
Yeah, they can never stop a terrorist attack, but they're listening to everything.
Right? They do everything, but they don't do anything.
They don't do anything.
Yeah, I know. It's hilarious.
Tell you about that.
They don't stop any mass shootings or anything, you know.
Right. They don't do what they're supposed to do. Everything but what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like take your shampoo, shaving cream, and paste.
Several platforms. The chairman of the committee, U.S. Representative Michael McCall, was quoted in the report as stating, "Fusion centers are a key element of our homeland security because they improve partnerships at the state, local, and federal levels and help ensure better coordination of vital counterterrorism information. As threats to our homeland continue to evolve, we must take the necessary steps to mitigate gaps in threat sharing and reporting." This latest report includes 24 recommendations that promote the sustained growth of the national network of fusion centers and more fully integrate frontline law enforcement, first responders, and our intelligence community, contributing to a national infrastructure to defend against the threat landscape. The fusion process proactively seeks to identify perceived threats and stop them before they occur.
What movie? Minority Report?
Yeah, good try.
But they can't stop
it. They don't do it though. It's like they get enough. They get the information, and then they, if anything, they just assist in the shit, you know, or whatever, man. I mean, they're not trying to stop anything.
They're the ones doing this shit. That's what.
Yeah. This is a way they track themselves throughout it, I guess. Whatever.
Center is typically organized by amalgamating representatives from different federal, state, local, and tribal law enforcement agencies into one physical location. However, some fusion centers gather information not only from government sources, but also from their partners in the private sector.
We know.
Each representative is intended to be a conduit of raw information
Twitter,
from his or her agency.
YouTube, on and on.
A representative who can infuse that agency's specific information into the collective body of information for analysis. Conversely, when the fusion center needs intelligence requirements, the representative is the conduit back to the agency to communicate, monitor, and process the new information needs. Similarly, the agency representative ensures that analytic products and threat information are directed back to one's home agency for proper dissemination. According to the Fusion Center guidelines, a fusion center is defined as a collaborative effort of two or more agencies that provide resources, expertise, and/or information to the center with the goal of maximizing the ability to detect, prevent, apprehend, and respond to criminal and terrorist activity.
Criminal and terrorist.
The intelligence component of a fusion center focuses on the intelligence process, where information is collected, integrated, evaluated, analyzed, and disseminated. Non-traditional collectors of intelligence, such as public safety entities and private sector organizations, possess important information that can be fused with law enforcement data to provide meaningful information and intelligence about threats and criminal activity. State and local police departments provide both space and resources for the majority of fusion centers. The analysts working there can be drawn from a range of agencies and organizations, including DHS, FBI, Customs and Border Protection, Drug Enforcement Administration, Coast Guard.
I was waiting to see if she'd say agency.
National Guard, Border Patrol, state-level departments of corrections, local police, and the private sector. A number of fusion centers keep hotlines and also invite relevant information from public employees, such as sanitation workers or firefighters.
Wow. Wow. Sanitation workers get snitched too. That's
yeah.
Good grief. Nuts, man. That's some nutty stuff, I tell you.
So garbos are snitches.
Yeah.
We call them garbos.
Oh,
You still
my
with-
goodness.
Oh,
No,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry,
There
Carl.
she is.
Yeah, I got up to let the dog out and I got booted somehow.
Huh. Wow. Well, we are glad you're back. Hello, hello. I see where you said you got booted a couple minutes ago. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, that's cool. That's crazy. The Fusion, what is it? Fusion Center?
Fusion Center. Yep. There's
Yeah, no.
79 of them, and they just collect all our data. You know, everything on us, everything they can get their hands on from the apps and from you know, video cameras to your digital imprint, print. You know, a signature everywhere. Yeah, it's nuts. They know. They in some cases they probably know people better than themselves.
Fuck you. Fuck you, dickheads.
I was just flipping off my camera too.
Fuse D's Fusion Center. Yeah, they've got the Batman God, whatever that God app or whatever that God the all-seeing God eye or whatever that in the Batman. You know, they can just link everybody's. They can just gather what they want from anybody's phone or whatever everywhere.
All our information.
Do you guys remember? Oh, I'm sorry, Rick. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying they take all of our information and put it in the beast system.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Or, a command to come out and they do it.
Yeah, they're AI powered for sure. These fusion centers, they're definitely they're linked to supercomputers.
I'll be honest. I think it's more than that, guys. Tim, as close-minded as he is, had something really strange happen. He woke up and looked over and he saw that I don't know if you guys have heard this story or not, but he had an empty a full magazine sitting on the bed next to his Glock. So he's got a magazine in the Glock and he's also got a full magazine sitting next to it. And he looks over at the magazine. He said, he was thinking, he did not say it out loud. He was thinking in his head. And I know he wouldn't have said it out loud because I was sleeping. He doesn't talk to himself. He said he was thinking to himself, I wonder how often those need to be cleaned, or if because he's had it for so long, or if I just need to go ahead and replace that because that magazine has been sitting there for 4 years. He takes the shells out every now and then and he'll replace them or whatever. But so he's thinking this in his head. He goes and sits down on the toilet to do his morning business or whatever. He said the very first thing that popped up on his phone was an article about replacing magazines for semi-automatics. thinking about it. So do you guys remember when just like a year ago when Zuckerberg was talking about mind reading technology?
420 somewhere. Sorry, 420 somewhere. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
420.
dude, and that's happened to me before too, Carla. You know,
you're an hour late, Tommy. It's 5:20.
Go ahead, Carla.
No, I was just gonna say, I really honestly believe that the AI is something, that it's something supernatural, that it is,
I
that it's
have
demonic.
doubt.
That it's
I have no doubt, because if you look on, all the visuals that are all over the technology, there's no doubt it's fallen angel technology.
Oh yeah. There's no doubt.
Yeah. So, but what you're alluding to is trying to say is that something read his mind.
Oh yeah, this is bigger than AI. It's bigger than collecting information on us. That it already has some kind of a neural link.
She's not saying. She's saying AI is reading our minds.
Does your husband does he have a does he have a 5G phone?
Yeah, he does. Well, he has. I don't know. He has an iPhone 6. I have an 8 Plus. But we do have 5G in the house. We have a 5G. I guess we have there's a 5G box on the outside of the house, and then there's a 5G router in our office. And I go in that room and I can smell like ozone. Before an electric storm, when you can smell the electricity in the air. I walk into that room and I smell that, and people say, "Oh, that's got to be like your printer or something like that." Well, our printer's turned off all the time unless we use it. It's never turned on unless we use it. So it's not my printer sitting there burning up. And I've unplugged the printer and had the printer in different rooms, and I still smell that ozone smell. So
I've got a similar story. I've got a similar story to your husband's, Carl. It's I was out driving and I saw a very rare British sports car. All right, that you never see. You never see them on the road. And I was looking at it and admiring it. It's just a really pretty old car. It's nothing. Not really my cup of tea, but I remember seeing it and admiring, the workmanship and how nice it was, and while I was driving, right? I don't have a smartphone. Anyway, I come home and after work, I turn on my iPad, and I get a recommendation for the same car that I'd seen while I was out driving, and I don't have any cameras. There's nothing going. It was only what I saw. No one was with me. I didn't tell anyone.
That's bizarre.
And I got it. It was exact. It was nearly. I think it might have even been the same color as well. It was like, what the hell's? Yeah.
Stuff like that happens to me all the time. It's pretty much on a regular basis now, at least a couple of times a week. And it's gotten to the point where it doesn't even shock me anymore. The reason that I brought Tim's up is it was about a week after I saw that that thing about, that Zuckerberg was talking about mind reading technology through Facebook, that it would be something that could be technologically possible within 1 year. Well, it was like a week after that this happened with Tim, and I didn't mention a thing to him about it because I hardly talk to him about conspiracies anymore. I mean, really, just this COVID thing has kind of, um, made me start talking again, because I just stopped. I stopped because it bothered me so much that he didn't get what I was talking about, or he didn't want to talk about what I was talking about. So, but it stands out the most to me. But it happens to me so often that I don't even remember the stuff. It's just something that almost happens constantly now. I'll be thinking about something, and there it is. And it's like, am I making this stuff manifest? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not capable of doing that. I'm not a god. I'm not an angel. I think this is fallen angel technology. It's demonic. There's something that's so evil and it's disturbing that something can read your mind.
It's a black cube. The scrying mirrors. We're using demonic technology, which is it's supernatural, and it's not. It's from the air. What they say, as it says in the Bible, it's Satan. He's in the air. The devil. He's controlling the world in the airwaves.
To the airways.
Mm.
Well, I don't. Is it Greek? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rick. I'm sorry, babe.
No. I was just agreeing. It's principality of the airwaves. Is anything in the airways. I think right now, anyway, is of him. Even though it's still God's will.
So if we think something, it goes out into somewhere. That's what I'm trying to say.
It goes down to the ether, right?
I think the fusion centers are what drives the AI. Whether you believe that I don't believe it's completely self producing. It's feeding off of all of our information that they collect. You know what I mean? And then obviously you see news stories that are produced now,
right?
Online, that have obviously been written by something that isn't human, because they can't form sentences. They quite often misspell words or use the wrong word in the sentences. The sentences don't make any sense. If it's mainstream media, there used to be people that were proofreaders, and they'd make sure nothing went out unless it was spot on.
Right. That don't happen no more. It's all computers.
But I think a lot of these obvious mistakes you see in news stories is the AI, not reproducing the word in the correct form, or the wrong word. Maybe like what is it? The technology that you can use to translate languages, and even when you use GPS with the talking voice,
Right.
A lot of times they can't pronounce the names of the streets, and they're not hard words. They just can't pronounce them properly. They totally misread.
Right. Yeah, I have a Horseshoe Lake Road by my house, and my GPS always calls it Houseshoe Lake.
Houseshoe.
So.
Alabama, the GPS and we'll say mobile Alabama instead of Mobile. Yeah.
I've even got an Australian woman, right? I chose an Australian female with a nice voice. She sounds nice, but she can't pronounce anything in English, not even with an Australian accent. Look, the Australian accent's not even the best Australian accent. It sounds a bit English. It's you can't pronounce anything properly, though. It's hilarious.
Man, oh man. So, did you see that article, Matt, about the in New Zealand them adding 500 troops? To yeah.
Same thing's happening. The same thing's happening here.
Yeah. So you have seen troops or of some kind.
They're in the city. Right in the middle of the city, and around the city too, I suppose, close to the city. But the only ones I've seen are at checkpoints, leaving metropolitan areas, like going out into the country.
Now, is it your version of National Guard, or is it actually like Australian military?
They're Army, they're Navy, Army and Navy at the moment.
Wow.
And they're just fresh recruits, mate, straight out of the academy.
Do y'all have your own version of FEMA there? FEMA?
No, not that it's known of, man.
Yeah.
Not officially.
What about is the Red Cross there doing anything or?
No. I've seen some strange things, man. I've got to tell you. I've been driving on a freeway, man, and I've seen army trucks going past me, man. They were like. I've seen army trucks, but I've also seen white trucks. Fuck, my battery's going.
Oh, maybe like UN.
Yeah, I've seen white trucks, man. Yeah. And Oh, there was one that was fuck. I can't remember what it was actually called, but it was some government. I don't know. It was like Australian Border Defence or something, or some weird. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I've never heard of it before or since. And that was on the side of the trucks, you know, and they all went past in like a convoy, man. Like, I don't know, not too many, maybe like 5 or 6 of them or something. But I've seen like army Hummers, man,
Humvees, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen them like in convoys. I've seen some strange shit on the road. I've never been at a railway crossing and seen 500 armoured personnel carriers go past. I haven't, or United Nations. I haven't seen anything like that.
Right.
I have seen some strange shit.
Yeah.
And I've seen army dudes driving around a lot. I saw them driving around a lot before the checkpoints came in. So they were probably being organised, you know, ready to
go. So what phase y'all in? Is there phases there?
Yeah, stage 4.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, basically, everything's shut. Every business had to shut unless they were classified as an essential business. And unless they were a major corporation or a larger retailer, when they probably had enough power behind them or money or whatever to bribe the government to allow them to still operate, but only with what do you call it, contactless pickup, you know, like they call it click and collect. So you order everything online and then you go and pick it up in the car park at a safe distance, you know, under a fucking pergola.
Are you getting any extra money from the government or something or anything?
Yeah, we got a payment for being on the front line, an extra payment. I think it was 500. I think something like that.
Right. Are you getting the same amount of hours you used to get at work, or is it less? You still getting good? Okay, yeah.
Nothing's changed. But yeah, after this scare that I told you about with the with the government coming in and checking everything and
like our OSHA, we have OSHA here that checks job sites.
The
and all
police, because the social distancing is taken so seriously, especially now, man, because they can find individuals and they can find the management and they can find the company for not social distancing on the work site. So what happened was, I think it was actually a union person walked into the tea room at lunch, at morning tea, and there was too many people in there and they weren't social distancing, so the police were called. And the police came out and they were threatening to, they made us, you know, activate a COVID-19 safety plan, you know, and made us comply to all the regulations that we weren't following, you know, otherwise they'd shut us down and we had like 2 days to comply. So everything was being rushed through really quickly to make it all legit, you know what I mean? All the machinery that wasn't working and social distancing fucking signs everywhere and arrows on the floor and crosses and...
Have you been asked to take a test yet?
No, we don't have that. No, that hasn't happened.
Hey, Matt.
Nobody get a test, huh? There's no test?
No test, no.
Hey, Matt, do they, are you guys, I mean, I don't know how your government necessarily works over there, but are you set up kind of like we are with a state, local, and federal, you know, basically like three branches, your state, local, and your federal?
Yeah.
So did this start out where it was just, it was just like certain regions or certain districts or certain localities or whatever, and then it became statewide and then federal, basically?
Yeah, not federal yet, but statewide. But other states are going in the same direction.
Okay. And where are you? Are you in Melbourne?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's huge. How many people live in Melbourne?
Everything's happening here, and nothing's happening anywhere else, pretty much.
Okay.
Even when it
It's
comes
the
to cases.
second biggest area.
Oh, we're the second biggest population.
Yeah,
for a
how many
city.
people are in? Do you have any idea how many are in Melbourne?
Yeah, for the state, it's like 6.5 million.
Wow.
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 It's
That's
probably
terrifying.
like 5 million, live in the metro areas. So, Sydney, New South Wales, where Sydney is, that's the biggest state. That's probably 7.5 million. They're probably a little bit in front of us. They were always the biggest. But yeah, pretty much on the eastern seaboard of Australia, from where I am, on the bottom right-hand corner, all the way up the coastline until you get to Brisbane. All right, that's pretty much all the people that live between those two cities. That's like 90% of the population, pretty much.
That's what I was going to say. I mean, because everything else is more
remote. So,
right.
There's other cities. You got Adelaide, which is in South Australia. All of those knew that new bill that was passed from South Australia. That's not actually. Yeah, that's actually a state. It's called South Australia, and that's to the west of the state that I live in Victoria. But all those child stealing bill policies in that bill about how the government's got unlimited control and they can do whatever they want to you, your children. That was from South Australia. And they've got their capital city is called Adelaide. And that's probably not a very big city, maybe 3 million or something, 2 or 3 million.
My oldest boy and his wife are trying to have a kid right now, and I'm just terrified for him. I don't know if all you guys saw my son or not, but he was on Brian's. Brian. Well, who did we do that with? That was with you, Tommy, and with Mike, and so yeah.
I saw your son. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, yep.
Yeah, and he's such a good kid and he's super, super smart. But and I brought him up a lot like my grandma did with the Bible. Took him to church and stuff when he was a kid, and he knows a lot about the Bible. And he knows a lot about the Book of Revelation, and he goes to church every Sunday. But it's like they just don't see it, and I don't want to be horrible. I want to be a grandma more than anything. But the last thing I want my kids to do right now is to bring a kid into this world. This is not the time to do it,
Yeah.
But it says they will, I mean, it will be going on all the way to the end, But yeah, it's sad. It's sad for me when I hear people, planning to have kids and having them now. It's.
Yeah, I'm terrified. I have no grandkids yet.
And I do. I didn't even think I would. I'll be honest with you guys. I didn't think we would get, that I would get to the point where I would see grandkids. I thought it would hit the fan before that. So I'm real surprised that I have a grandson and a step grandson. But yeah, wow.
My girlfriend's got 2 grandkids.
I feel bad for the kids.
5 and 3.
Ain't gonna have a chance to have a child, to go through something like that, or to even go through normal stuff like graduate high school.
Nothing's gonna be normal anymore, man. No, they're screwed. They're screwed.
It's very sad.
Yeah. That's the most heartbreaking thing, man. I think that's what we all care about, is the future of the children, and what they're going to have to go through. We know it's not going to get. We know it's not going to get any better. It's only going to get worse.
Oh yeah, my oldest is going to be 37 in September, and she's still my baby. I've got 4 kids, and I'm terrified for them because, they're living their own lives and they're adults, and but I just feel like, gosh, I just wish I could have prepared them more. And people are going to do what they're going to do. I did for a long time, even knowing what I knew. I did a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have done in my life. And, I wish I could have back every minute of that time right now. But what is that a picture of, Tommy?
That's a new picture. A new picture I got tonight of my little Braylon, Michael, my grandson.
Is it cutie?
Yeah. I can't make my screen big for some reason, so I'm having trouble. I mean, I can barely see you, Tommy. I can see Mad, but I can barely see you.
Well, it's dark in here. I mean,
Yeah.
my cat's sleeping, so
Tommy, hey, did you see that thing that I put out on Facebook? I don't know if you opened up. I don't know if I sent you the invitation or not, but I tagged you in it. But wanting to do a 24
I did see
hour.
it. Yeah, I saw it.
Okay.
When were you talking about doing it?
I don't know. I'd like to get it together in the next couple of weeks, and I was hoping maybe I could get you to kind of help me organize it or give me some ideas on the best way to do it. Because we want to do like 24 hours, and like we're night owls, people like us, but I'm not going to play a part in it other than trying to get everybody together. And if somebody needs to use my StreamYard, we can put like 6 people on at one time in my StreamYard. We can use my time or whatever and switch it up or whatever, but I can't see that. Can't see the
NASA
picture at all.
investigating a small air leak on the International Space Station.
Air leak.
A small air leak.
We were supposed to have a solar flare today.
Air leak, more like a water leak.
That was today.
How do you get an air leak in a vacuum?
Here's some lovely information for you. Pfizer says BioNTech, whatever, BioNTech, favored COVID-19 vaccine has
fewer side effects. That's the one to pick.
That's what I want.
I want the one with less side effects, please.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna have to click on that. Oh, what the freak!
I can't see anybody asking for the one with.
Finish reading the headline. It says the COVID-19 vaccine has fewer side effects than their first one. So they made a real evil one, the first one, and then they had to change that, I guess. Oh my goodness!
I can't see anybody asking for the fucking vaccine with the most side effects.
Yeah, that video that I posted the link to earlier with that doctor, she was talking about nanotechnology and the vaccines, and she seems like she's pretty legit. I won't completely vouch for her, but I did a whole lot of research. So somebody had sent me this video, and I said, before I post this or share it, I really want to look this gal up. So I looked, and she's been around for 19 years. She's got references that go back 4 or 5 years on the internet. I know that all that stuff can be made up. They can put it up in a day or something, so she, I don't know if she's controlled opposition or if she's real, but it does seem really legit. And she's talking a lot about nanotechnology and black goo and about transhumanism, basically how it's going to change our DNA and make us less than human, but more than human. And just it's bizarre. But she was talking about testing that they were doing on ferrets and how
That's
the
what
initial.
I heard too.
Huh?
I heard that today too. I heard that today on my news on the radio that the vaccine that they're looking at giving us has already been tested on ferrets, and it was very successful.
Oh no, that's not what she said. She said that it caused extreme lung issues. That basically these ferrets' lungs were, doubling in size, and that they were, of course, they were what do you call it? Asphyxiating. I can never pronounce that word. Asphyxiation.
Asphyxiation.
Yeah, basically they were choking to death, I guess, on their own fluids from their.
Like wearing a mask all day.
Probably. Little ferret mask. I gotta carry that picture around in my head now.
This is what the bus drivers are going to look like here. Hold on, school bus drivers.
Oh, lovely! You really want those? You want your kids' school bus drivers' vision completely blocked with a glaring mask.
Yeah.
You know what I find strange now is that you remember a time not that long ago, back in the old days in 2019, that when you saw a Muslim woman wearing a full face covering, it was confronting, you know.
Oh yeah, and it was, well, yeah, confronting. It disturbed a lot of people. It made people nervous.
Now everyone's got a mask on.
Right.
It's normal now. Now we're the freaks, the ones without the masks.
According to his tweets, Bill Gates is way more stressed out than Elon Musk. Wah. Cry me a river.
Oh God, if they'd thrown Tom Hanks in there, that would have been a perfect article.
No more celebrities getting sick.
What is this? FEMA approves another $300 a week for unemployed Marylanders. Wow. Huh.
Did you hear that? Oh, what was I going to say? Shoot, I had something.
Comfort. That's comfort money, mate.
Wow.
Keep them silent. No one's going to be upset as long as you keep getting paid by the government. They're all happy. That's what they've been doing to us, mate. Just bribing everyone. Till the money runs out. The money's going to run out soon. Our real estate market, mate, is going to die in the arse real soon. I think it's March. March is when the money stops.
4 hours ago, tropical storm expected to form Friday, and it's headed right for my area, right there. So that's lovely.
Oh no!
It looks like it's headed right, right my way, or even to Panama City, which already got hit, by that they said was a hurricane,
Well, did you guys? I mean, you guys know about the fires in California right now. They said that there were like 3,000 lightning strikes that helped start that fire. I mean, that's just incredibly. That's unbelievable.
Any of you watch a channel called Never Lose Truth?
Do what?
A channel called Never Lose Truth.
I haven't seen it. No, I'll check it out. I'll look for it.
A solar flare up is headed for the Earth's magnetic field. Yeah. Sometimes, to me, it's almost like they're using magnetic field as the dome. They're talking about the dome. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, she's been talking about the fires and the geoengineering, and looking at all the weather radar, and showing how all the clouds are being steered away and how it's all geoengineered. You can see all the straight lines and the square lines and squares. And
well, and in Iowa had that what was it? What's it called? A Derico or something? Tommy? Do you know what the name of that storm was? Is it what it's called? A Derico or something?
I don't know the name. I'm sorry. No.
Yeah, I had never heard of it. So this is like a Mandela effect for me. I've never even heard that word before. And then suddenly we have, basically it's an inland hurricane. I was in the middle of the country.
Yeah.
COVID-19's death and suffering could lead us to rebirth, as the bubonic plague did in Europe. That's what they want, a reset.
Yep, exactly.
Yep. So there you go. They're telling you right there. That's what's going on. It's important to look back and learn from those who surmounted similar challenges 700 years ago. Doing so may give us something we're short on: hope. Huh. Imagine that. A painting showing the effects of the plague in Basel, Switzerland in 1349.
You guys know what I fell asleep to watching on last night on Amazon was 1984.
It was on TV here. It was on here. I was on TV here last night.
Oh, really? I watched it on Amazon. Wow. Yeah, I fell asleep to it last night, but yesterday before I was just looking up some quotes from 1984, and real quick, this is a total reset quote from the movie. Every record has been destroyed or falsified, every book rewritten, Every picture has been repainted. Every statue and street building has been renamed. Every state has been, oh, I'm sorry, every date has been altered. And the process is continuing day by day and minute by minute. History has stopped. Nothing exists except an endless present in which the party is always right. George Orwell, 1984. That's disturbing, but I mean, that's a complete reset, and that's what we're doing. That's what they're doing right now.
Oh, now see, this really pisses me off. Look at this crap. Is this real? Have y'all seen this? Brooklyn mother traveling with 6 children forced off a JetBlue flight when her 2-year-old wouldn't wear a mask.
Oh God!
Shouldn't have a 2-year-old wearing a mask. For one, I don't think that's.
2-year-olds shouldn't be wearing masks.
I mean, come on, man. Is this real or fake? You know, I mean,
Hey,
you know,
probably, it's probably to get people to get in an uproar.
They want to piss you off. That's a story to piss you off.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean by fake is that they're
I'm
doing
pissed
it.
off now. It works. Good job.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you see what it did. You see what kind of emotions that it pulled up in all of us instantly.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, "Oh my God!"
Yeah.
I want to abuse. I've seen mothers with I've seen mothers with 2 babies in a pram, both with masks. I've seen toddlers with their mother with masks, and the mother wear. I want to abuse them, but is that going to help? It probably won't help.
I was in the grocery store the other day, and I'm the only person in the grocery store without a mask. But I have this look that most people just don't want to approach me. I've been told that I have this look my whole life. Everybody says I walk around like with a chip on my shoulder. But so I haven't worn a mask in any supermarkets or anything at gas stations or anything. I do a lot of my shopping online though. But anyway, I'm in the supermarket and a woman's got her 2 kids and one daughter is like 5, and then she's got another little girl sitting in the cart. She's probably about 18 months old. And she had a mask on both of these kids, and the 18-month-old was pulling and crying. The tears were unbelievable, just screaming. You know how a baby sounds when they're when they're hurt or I mean, this baby was hurting. It was not happy. It was a horrible thing to watch. Stop that, Mad.
I'll just show you what I have to do, and the best way for me to deal with this shit. This is what I do. All right, it's just a ripped t-shirt tied in a knot. And what I do is I don't even normally pull it. But you know what I mean? I've got airflow.
Yeah,
I can still breathe. And my mouth's not covered 100. It's not really covered, only just. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's got to be a pain in the ass though, because all day long you're having to readjust it, and it's driving me crazy.
Pulling it up. I'm always pulling it up. But if I pull it down, it's no good. You're gonna die.
Oh yeah, that's horrible.
I hate it. I can't stand it. I really can't.
It's a nightmare.
They've made it into a habit for us because we're either going to get bashed, arrested, fined, or all of those 3 things. And you can't work without it. We need a work permit to leave the house, basically. No one's allowed to go anywhere, There's no cars on the road. It's like Sunday, really early Sunday morning every day. There's just no traffic. So people are just getting pulled over, left, right, and centre. More cops than cars.
Sweden's saying it's very dangerous to wear the mask.
Oh, Sweden's right.
And it says Sweden.
It doesn't matter what they say; they're going to make us do what they want us to do, or we're going to have to go to war.
Mm. But it's very rare to see anyone without a mask. Very rare.
Has resisted recommending face masks for general populations, arguing it's very dangerous. If people believe the coverings alone will stop the spread of coronavirus, that's how they're. Yeah, it's.
He must be a conspiracy theorist.
But he's saying it's not good enough because it's so dangerous, though. But we don't think it's dangerous, though.
Oh, he's saying that COVID's dangerous. Oh.
Yeah, he's saying it's so dangerous that
COVID
just
doesn't exist.
Just wearing a mask.
I haven't tripped over any bodies in the street yet. I'm looking for them. I can't find them anywhere. I can't find any.
Why didn't you tell us, man? Jeez, you found something and you didn't tell us.
Oh yeah.
2 giant gold nuggets worth 250,000 found in Australia.
I've got 2 nuggets, but they're not gold.
They found your balls. They found Brian's balls. Wow, that's crazy though, man. That's a lot of money in gold. Somebody found them. That's weird.
Oh yeah, you know why they do that, man? You can't believe half of those stories either.
Well, all right. Did you hear it in your news? It's in your play. It's there. Did you? In southern Australia, found 2 huge nuggets worth $350,000 Australian money, 250 U.S. money, in historic gold fields. The pair of nuggets weigh in at a combined 7.7 pounds and were found on the same day near Tarnagola in the state of Victoria.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah.
How do you spell it? Spell the word. What is it?
Tarnagulla. Tarnagola.
Yeah, even I haven't. I couldn't tell you what that is.
It said it was in an episode of Aussie Gold Hunters on Discovery Channel. Have you heard of that show, Aussie Gold Hunters?
Yeah. No, I don't think I have it.
Wow.
I don't watch that much TV. It's probably on pay TV. But yeah, there's areas in Victoria. Like Victoria was basically started. Well, it was this state was started because of gold mining there. That's what started this state. Didn't exist before that. A gold rush started it, and the town that started it isn't the capital. it's called Ballarat.
They had been waiting for months for a permit to look for gold there, and got it.
That's when that was the scene of Australia's War of Independence, basically the equivalent to your War of Independence, because the gold miners were were forced into by the bobbies, which were English police, because we're an English colony, to pay land tax on their lots, which they'd already paid for, So they were trying to cash in, and all the miners, they all got together, which became the first workers' union, right? And they set up a blockade, a huge blockade, right? And waiting for the army came in, or the police came in, not the army, the police came in, and it was a massive shootout, mate. But they fought to the death. They fought to the death to defend their rights and their freedom,
Yeah, we did that a couple of 100 years ago here too, and well, nobody's doing it now, though, are they?
No.
Movers in NYC are so busy. New York City, they're turning people away. People are moving out of New York City.
They're all trying to get out of New York, escape from New York.
Yeah.
And LA too, man.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's getting out of there.
Well, I hope they don't come here, because we've got enough crazy lunatic liberals in Illinois. So
yeah, I heard a lot of them want to go to Texas and Florida. Tommy, Florida, they're going to Florida. That's what I heard. All the celebrities are coming to Florida, mate. They're all moving out.
I think they're all going to go to Greece, the new Tom Hanks pedo island.
Oh, yeah.
Ben Affleck will return as Batman in The Flash. Wow. Dax Shepard suffers multiple broken bones in a motorcycle accident and needs surgery. Ouch.
Never heard of him. Who's it?
He's a popular actor. Yeah.
I'm so out of touch, man. I'm so out of touch with all these actors that have been around for like the last 20 years. I don't know who any of them are.
Right.
That's about the time I stopped watching movies.
I know everybody was talking about Cardi B.
Cardi B.
Yeah, well, she is supporting Joe Biden, and she did this big. One of the only interviews that he's done was with Cardi B, and I had no idea who she was. I'm like, who is this freak?
You don't want to know, Carl. Trust me.
No, so I asked him, who is she? And so he looked her up and he sent me the lyrics to one of her songs, and I was like, wow, this
New World
is.
Order. She's a New World Order sellout skanky hoe.
Oh, she's disgusting.
Yeah. She's got no talent either. No talent at all.
I've never heard of this company, but
It's crap.
Swinson.
It's crap. You'd be sick if you listened to it, but it's really bad. Don't go there.
No, I won't. I saw the lyrics. I don't want to hear them.
Swenson's, a company called Swenson's or a restaurant or something. They have a Smucker's and Smucker's Jif and grape jelly shake, ice cream shake made with Jif and grape jelly.
Peanut butter.
It's a peanut butter and jelly shake.
Is it one F or two?
Milkshake.
How big's the straw?
You see, it looks pretty big. The red straw.
I don't know.
It's a big straw for peanut butter, but
that sounds really good. I'm not gonna lie.
Too bad it's not Jiffy though.
I know. Hey, is it Jif with one F or two?
It's one F. One F.
Yeah.
Well, that's
this is crap. Yeah.
That's crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jiffy in Australia is a bathroom cleaning product. It's like much like Ajax. Have you heard of Ajax?
Yeah.
You. God bless you.
God bless you.
God bless you.
I usually do about 4 in a row. All right, COVID-19 data will once again be collected by CDC in policy.
That's a symptom. Sneezing's a symptom too.
Yeah, that's not sick. Did you hear me though? The COVID-19 data will once again be collected by CDC in policy reversal. Hospitals will return to reporting new cases of Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Trump's administration says after shift to health and human services led to delays and data problems. So they're going to start fudging the numbers again, basically.
Yeah, they said our cases in St. Louis are almost the highest. We're back almost to the highest amount of new cases. Almost like back to the beginning again, which is ridiculous. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's just stupid. Nobody, why are these people getting tested?
They're making it up most of the time, Carl.
I don't even think you're tested.
Yeah, no, they're not. They don't even have to. No, a lot of it's connected. A lot of it's connected to the contact tracing. So every time someone enters a business, they have to, write their name down, record their name and their phone number.
U.S. death toll.
And they only have to have one here, right? They only have to have one probable case. So someone who's suspected, they don't even have to be a legitimate positive case of COVID. But just a suspected case of COVID goes to a business and was recorded, like somebody, said, oh, that person, we think he was a bit sick. He come to work and he shouldn't have been here. Mm-hmm. All right. So everyone who was there on that day, the same day that person was a bit sick and he was a probable case. So everyone on that list will get a phone call. And they'll all be put in a self-quarantine for 2 weeks. And they'll all be recorded as cases. and that all gets put onto the statistics. That's how they do it. That's how they do it. That's how they're doing it here. You know? People are being called and told that they've tested positive when they didn't even get tested. They just
Yeah, I've heard
registered
that.
the test. It's happening everywhere. Yeah. Crazy.
They got their boot on our necks.
Well, that's all they've got's cases here because no one's dying here. It's fucking, you know, it's for our country we average 430 deaths every day for our population. All right, from all various causes. That's a daily average. It has been for like the last 2 years, I think. We've had 400 deaths since it started, and most of them are here in my state. The rest of the country's got nothing.
Jeez. Yeah, it's been almost 7 months, and I still don't know one person who's been diagnosed with COVID. Not one person.
Oh man, I've heard so many stinking.
I've heard of one. I've heard of one. But
even my boss told me yesterday that he knows of 2 children that got it. I'm like, oh, God, I'm so sick of it.
I know. Yeah, I hear all the time from people that are on my friends list. I'll post something and they'll say, "Oh, well, I know somebody, who my second cousin's, stepdaughter." Yeah, exactly. My hairdresser's dog walker's baby's daddy.
Oh boy, guys, we're gonna have to wrap this up soon because I've got to work in about 5.5 hours, something like that.
All right,
well, you better get some sleep. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, I would enjoy it, and I definitely would like to stay on a longer. But I know I'm going to have to get a little bit of rest to be, working all day tomorrow, and then I got to work half a day Saturday, and then my daughter's coming into town Sunday to get the car and visit. And
that's cool, man. Enjoy all of that, man. You deserve it, mate.
Yeah, and I'm so glad everything went okay today, Tommy. And don't let yourself stress out about October. God's got this.
There's no reason to even stress about October because it'll just be like today could have been where I plead not guilty. So and then it'll be months after that before a jury trial is put together. And I overheard them talking like they are kind of dismissing some cases because there's so many backlogged in that. So who knows, they might decide to dismiss it. I think at some point they're going to decide to when they hear my side of it, because they're not going to be able to they're not going to really be able to counter what I've got to show.
Right.
So it wasn't even any loss, was it? Didn't you take the steel back?
No, that was the thing. If the charges, there wouldn't have been any charges if the cop had have came and told me they just wanted 2 of the items back and I could keep the rest. And so since he took it in his own, he did it on his own. He did what he wanted to do, which was wait longer than the 10 days they gave me, which I had no idea because they told the detective go over there and tell him.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah. See, he did what he wanted to do, which was come.
Well, he shot himself in the foot already, mate. It should get thrown out. It should be thrown out straight away. As soon as you produce that evidence, mate, that's it.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I mean, just the fact that whether they realize it or not, when you put something in a spot and then you run an ad and say, "Hey, come get it," and then you put more stuff in that spot.
And you've been going there backwards and forwards.
What? It's an accidental entrapment.
It's entrapment.
Yeah.
Claim.
But obviously, I don't know. Yeah, seems strange. I mean, you not knowing. I mean, if you knew, you would have taken it back, and then they wouldn't have had any.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's why I usually hold on to stuff for a week or two. I've had this happen one other time with a family member, where they told me to go over and get whatever scrap metal was there, and I ended up grabbing like a big hunk of iron, like it was like a homemade steel grate or something. I don't know, some kind of like a gutter cover or something. Anyway, but they called and said, "Hey, did you happen to grab that thing?" And I said, "Yeah, I've got it." And they said, "Well, we didn't actually mean for you to take that. Can you bring it back?" And I did, and everything was cool.
Yeah. That's the way it should go. That's the way it should go.
That's all that cop had to do, and he chose to do all this instead. And it's ridiculous, man. I mean,
yeah, that's messed up.
I got out and like gave him the finger or something, been up, then I could see him driving off. But when he was supposed to be there to tell me that what the owner said, and I get out and wave and smile at him and give him every chance to
come and talk to you.
Right.
Off and goes to a family court judge and says, "We need a SWAT team for this guy."
Because you look so super dangerous, Tommy. You look like such a villain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Damn
in his lair, sitting in the dark.
Oh,
man. All right, kids. Well, you guys have a good night.
I really appreciate you all of your wisdom and insight, guys, and all the comments and stuff that everybody's all the kind words.
Yeah, we're sending all our love to you, mate. You'll be good. Just trust in, put your trust in what you know. It's right and good, and you can't go wrong, mate.
I can say this: I won't put another mask on until I'm faced with the same, the court or whatever. So even though I didn't want to ever put one on, I guess I really was forced. I didn't have an option today, or I could have gone to jail or whatever. Got a contempt of court or something. But they if I would have refused, they would have put it off for a week, and then I would have had to go through this again. But eventually, they would have done something if I kept showing up and refusing to wear a mask.
Well, they'd hold you in contempt, and and he can fine you whatever the hell he wants to hold you in contempt. So he could fine you $500 or $5,000, and hold you in contempt.
Court's backing them, so
a little bit of discomfort is probably a better option. Yeah.
Right. Well, and it's the deal with me. I've been back and forth to the hospital 9 times, to the university hospital for, I've got some health issues and stuff that I've been needing to take care of. So I've had to wear a mask about 9 times now, and it's horrible. But you have to do what you have to do. Now, I'm not going to wear it to go to the grocery store. I'll order online until you can't do that anymore. And if I have to go steal food somewhere, I will. If I can't, but before I'll wear a mask into a supermarket, I'll figure something out.
Yeah. I haven't worn one to go in a store at all, and now they're even back. A lot of those stores are backing down. I've heard Walmart and others. They're not making people wear them now. They're not making them.
Oh, I've heard the opposite here in my state, that they're getting stricter.
Wow. Yeah, around here they're just not. They're not going to get in your face and tell you you can't come in or nothing. Now some stores are, but I'm just saying the big box stores are not. The Home Depot and Lowe's, even those they got huge signs saying required or whatever, but I've been in them and they didn't stop me at all.
Yeah, our restaurants and bars are open, so you can sit down and eat in a room with 50 other people with a capacity of 100. And you can go to a bar and drink and have people hanging all over you and get drunk. I just did it a few weeks ago. But you can't go shopping without a mask.
Our bars are closed. You can only have it in a restaurant.
Really?
So,
ours are.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. The whole idea is ridiculous.
It's silly. All right, guys. Good night.
All right. Thank you. I
Love
really
you guys.
said, and I'm gonna go right to sleep. Hopefully. All right. Much love.
Night night.
Take care of the chat. Thank you for being here, everybody. All right.
Bye, Tommy.
Yep. See y'all soon. And get up with me, and we'll definitely figure that out, Carla. On the 24-hour thing, and I'll be sending good vibes your way, Matt, and prayers.
Oh, same man. Same man.
Hang in there, brother. I know how crucial it is. I know how bad it's going to get before it gets better. But we don't live in fear, and I know you know that the good guys win in the end. So
I just can't. Yeah, thanks, Rick. Yeah, I just won't let fear take over me. I just won't.
Right.
I refuse, man.
Yep. That's what I say.
Gotta stay
All right,
positive.
it'll be 4:20 on the East Coast in 5 minutes, so y'all know.
4:20 in 5 minutes, people.
All
right.
Take care, guys.
See you later.
I'll be back. God bless you all. Tommy here, Tommy out.